days. Come on, StreamYard, act right today for me. I'll buy you some milk and cookies. All right, here we go. Well, I guess it won't let me, but anyway, we are live, guys. So, hey, let's go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Terry with NSPS TV Paranormal Podcast, and tonight, dude, I took the early plane up to Salt Lake City, Utah, to talk to these paranormal investigators, man, from Salt Lake City. Am I right?
Around the area.
Yeah, around the area. All right. Hey, why don't you guys introduce yourselves to the world?
Well, I'm Carrie. I'm one of the founders of Paranormal Pulse. So then I have my lovely crew, which don't know what order they want to go in.
All right. Well,
Kimberly,
we'll start.
Can you hear us? Okay, go ahead.
I'm Kimberly. I've been with the team for 2 years now, I think. 3 years, too. Yeah, and yeah, I'm in Central Utah, so about an hour out of Salt Lake.
Oh, okay. All right. Drew and Marissa.
Yeah, I've been with Paranormal Pulse since 2019, and I am in the heart of Salt Lake City.
Oh, okay.
I've been with Pulse for a few years, probably 5 or 6, I think, actively and inactively, all of the above. But we're pretty much right here in the heart of Salt Lake. So,
okay. Last but not least.
I'm Jane, and I've been in Paranormal Pulse for 9 years, and I'm north of Salt Lake.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm an hour north of Salt Lake.
Wow. I got a question for each one of y'all guys. Are there any Utah Utes fans on the show tonight? All right, we just gonna take them off.
I am a Buckeye.
Well, not BYU fans. That's
I'm an Ohio State girl.
Oh, that's even worse. That's
Okay. Yeah.
well, if it makes
you
spell sports.
I was going to say, it's all about Florida Gators here.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
You know what?
We're not scoring points tonight, right now.
No.
Well,
Yeah, we're not scoring points tonight. All right, guys. Since we know what kind of football fans we are,
Oh.
Duck fans. Hey, Carrie, tell me a little bit about your team and what exactly do you guys do up there in the great state of Utah?
Great state of Utah. Well, Paranormal Pulse was formed in 2009 after I was on another team that we didn't like the way it was going. So we formed Paranormal Pulse in 2009, and it went crazy. We were doing everything, going everywhere, doing Comic Cons, just everything. It was like every weekend, several times a week, we were investigating in that. And through the years, we've done some changes, and this year we're making a little bit of a change. So we've kind of slowed down a little bit, but I still have a lot on the back burner. So we investigate here in Utah, Idaho, Wyoming, and Nevada. So we go all the way around.
All right. Hey, cool. Well, another question, how you manage to keep your team intact? Because I see that you have a team that has been around for multiple years, not just one,
Yeah.
Not like 2, but a lot of viewers.
Yeah. It's just letting them know that they're all equals, and we try to approach everything. Um, even though I lead the team, I try to give everybody the option to do what they want to do and put their input in and just work together. And, we've had people come, we've had people leave. And so we just make do with what we have. I can't hear.
Yeah. All right, hold on. Mike just jumped to meet for some reason.
Keeps. There it goes.
Yeah. Pick your team by their specific and
In your audio.
We're losing you.
We're
Yeah.
losing audio. Mm-mm. I think we can hear each other, but we
I
can't
think
hear.
so too. Yeah.
Yeah.
This looks like one of
No,
our.
can't hear you.
Maybe it's us. Maybe it's us.
Sorry.
If it's gonna follow my technical issues over the last few days, this doesn't surprise me at all.
Okay, can we hear you now? No, it keeps, keeps
Oh.
going back.
There we go.
It's flipping on and off.
The heck is going on?
There you go.
There
There
it
you
is.
go.
We got that.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I've never had that happen before. That is so weird. Hey, you guys been hanging around out there at Dugway?
Been to Dugway.
If you guys been hanging out there at Dugway, man, they're doing some weird stuff out there.
Yeah,
But we'll get to that later. Hey, you guys, tell me what you guys do with the team. Starting with Kimberly, what is your profession with the team?
We're still redesigning everything with rebranding and growing and changing. So Carrie, I'm probably Carrie's best to answer that with where she's put us all and where we're landing. And
Oh, okay. Well, Miss Carrie, talk to me, my friend.
So I have put Marissa and Drew, they're investigators. Still, they're my leads, anyways. And we're kind of finding spots where they can contribute more at their own leisure because, this comes second to everybody. Family work comes first. So, and then Kimberly, I have moved into a deputy director of clients to kind of help me keep the clients all together and going. And then Jane, I've moved into a deputy director of cases and locations because we have a lot of clients, a lot of locations, and it's a lot for one person to do. So,
Dude, we are having major technically difficulties over here. I don't know what is going on. This has never happened to me before. I'm serious. I'm don't know what is going. Okay, you guys are back. All of a sudden, my intro just popped in.
oh, we didn't see it.
Yeah, it just popped in. I'm like, what is going on? You know what, guys? I'm glad you do that, Carrie, because I think paranormal teams, people should have, specific places where they should be and where they feel most comfortable at when they're on the team. The next question I have for you guys, are you guys able to always, when you guys go investigate, are you guys always able to come together? Or sometimes, this team member is busy or that team member is busy. and you guys aren't able to come in full force like you want to. If that's the case, Carrie, how do you substitute other team members when that happens?
Okay. For that, if it's a location that is large, um, when we have several that are very large, I trust my team, depending on who can make it. Usually everybody tries to make it. If they can't, and I have two members with me, we get it done
Hmm.
because each investigator knows what they're doing, knows how to do it, and knows how we work. So it doesn't matter if I have 6 or 7, which, you can cover more, but if I have 3, we're still going to get it done. So they
Understandable.
all have that ability to cope and know what to do, when to do, and how to fill in. So,
Okay, cool. What kind of equipment you guys deal with? Because
mm,
all this is going to come into play uh, in the next couple of questions that I have for you guys. So I just have to ask that question.
um, we've got everything from video to audio to millimeters, RIM pods, Envoy, you name
Razor
it,
blade.
we pretty much have it.
Okay,
So,
cool. Who's who's the skeptic on the team? Who's the one that debunks, try to go out and debunk everything?
we all do. We all do, but there's one who's a little more skeptical, Mr. Drew there. So he
Okay,
can
cool.
speak for
Now,
himself.
who's the medium on the team?
Who's the what?
The sensitive, the empath, the medium.
We're like this because we don't usually use those words. I think Kimberly, me, and Marissa are more in line with that. I don't like saying medium or whatever because there's really no words to describe it, but I think we're more on that side of it.
Okay, now, if you had a word, what word would you call yourself?
Unusual. A hodgepodge of everything. Yeah, when I guess I get told when they made me, they broke the mold. So it's just hard to say one is a medium or an empath and that because that's so limiting and so direct on what it's trying to say, and it's picked up
Right.
this whole negative idea of what it is. And
Mm-hmm.
to me, it is so much more. And it's just you can't put into words what it is, and especially at the time because it's never the same. So
Right.
so I have a hard time with those titles. So
Understandable. Understandable. Okay. Crazy question for all of you guys. What do your families think about the stuff that you guys do?
I took my 70-some-year-old mom with me on an investigation. She loved it.
Oh wow. Okay. Interesting.
I have to say this just simply because Drew was on our team for a couple of years when he had some things to take care of, and of course we loved him and said, when you're ready, come back. He came back. Marissa was on our team. The two hadn't met, and then they meet on one of our investigations, and now
Love
we
at
are
first
the
sight.
happy couple in the middle.
Hey, who says the paranormal can't bring people together, right?
Right?
Yeah, yeah. Um,
Wow. All
I,
right.
Kimberly, you can go next.
My family's very supportive. My daughter is super excited about this whole thing. I grew up in a home though that, the paranormal wasn't scary. I mean, it wasn't a weird thing. It wasn't,
Mm-hmm.
strange things happened around our home, and it was just like, oh, that's so and so, and it was just like a common thing. So it was never really strange. But since I've been investigating and kind of jumped in, my family's they're great. I've been a lot of support, and yeah.
Okay, cool. Tell me, let's get down to business, guys. Tell me a little bit about Utah, Salt Lake City. Tell me, man, what is going on up there, man? There's a lot of creepy stuff going on, or everybody's just happy-go-lucky.
Well, there's a lot of locations here that are very active. There's a lot we cannot talk about because of confidentiality clauses, but there's other locations that we've done through the years that I can now talk about. But
Hmm.
I think the thing about Utah is that it has at least two. I want to guess you want to say famous um, locations that's on almost every paranormal TV show or YouTube, and I think everybody's heard of what Asylum 49. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yep.
And then what's the tower one? What is that one?
The haunted one downtown. I think it's like, what's it called? Nightmare on.
No,
Mount
no.
Chaos or something. Well, there's two.
Oh, the castle.
The Fear Factory.
Fear Factory.
Fear Factory,
So
yeah.
Fear Factory in that, pretty much when people hear about the paranormal in Utah, those two names come up. And that's great. They're commercial, and then they're trying to do their own. But I'm like, fish. Nope. There's a lot more in Utah. A lot of historical locations, places that people didn't even know were here. That we've done and have gotten into. So there's
Well,
a lot.
Ogden has 25th Street, which is known worldwide.
Yep.
Hmm.
Even out, it's rumored that Al Capone said that Ogden scared him,
Oh, wow.
and Carrie has been able to get us into a restaurant that has been there a long time, and it's been many different things. And it not have a gambling room downstairs, Carrie, and some prostitution too.
There's in the basement. You go down and it's just like it's never been touched since the early 1900s.
Oh, wow.
Stairwells where you come, it has this little ticket window, and that's where you'd buy your ticket, and you go through this little door, and then there's this little stage still down there where the girls would dance. And then there's exits, and it's like a maze. And what they would do is that when there was going to be a raid, because they had the prostitution, the opium dens, and then, when bootlegging and all that, when they were going to be raided, they had a red light that would light up, and then everybody in that building would run through to the next building, so that they would not get caught in there. So they're all kind of tied to each other.
Okay. Now, serious question here for you guys. Salt Lake City, Utah, a very religious state. How does the church think about paranormal investigators in Utah? Because it plays a big part down here in Texas, especially in East Texas, where the religion is a little bit more heavy than other places. But what do they think about you guys in Utah and what you do?
Well, first of all, I have to say that on the team, we try not to bring religious beliefs into it. We're trying to look at scientifically what's going on. But in the back of your mind, everybody's got their comfort in that. I am not from Utah, therefore I am not Mormon. I don't think we have any Mormons on our team right now. Not one. But the ones that we have had on had a different view than what their upbringing was. So we've had them where they're very welcoming and up with times to absolutely no, because then you're bringing the evil and they just don't want to touch it. So it's just approaching each one, explaining what we do, answering their questions. And if they tell us, well, I'm Mormon, because we don't ask them. We don't go, well, we wait for them to inform us of that. And then if they say, well, I prefer if you don't do this or this or this, then of course we'll respect that. But
Mhm.
I've only come into maybe 2 or 3 times where um, the religion has come into play and affected the investigation. It's really quite open, I think.
Okay. All right. Cool. Good answer. Good answer. Uh, if you guys can tell me what made you become a paranormal investigator, past history, family issues, just tell me one by one on what made you think or what made you want to become a paranormal investigator.
Can I say one thing real quick?
Sure.
Thank you for saying paranormal investigator and not ghost hunters. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Proven explorer.
Well,
I was ready to give that line.
I've been called that 100 times, and you know what, Terry? I say the same thing.
Yeah, you don't see any ghosts mounted on the walls back
Yeah, right. Hey, no, there's no ghosts mounted on the wall. So, what exactly made you guys want to become paranormal investigators?
Do you want to start, Kimberly? Because you kind of clockwise, I guess.
Sure. I growing up in a home that had a lot of activity that I didn't understand or couldn't explain,
Hmm.
and then when I actually saw an apparition of a family member that had passed, and it just kind of drew my interest in as to how I could see this individual. I mean, again, like I said, growing up, it was just normal stuff in our home. Doors would open or things would drop, and we just knew it was just somebody or something and kind of wrote it
Hmm.
off. But when I did see an actual apparition of a family member that had passed, I was drawn in. I was drawn
Okay,
in. Yep,
cool.
fascinated. Yeah.
Drew and Marissa, what made you guys want to become paranormal investigators?
Go first.
Um, excuse me. So a lot of mine is really similar to Kimberly's. We had my house growing up just had a lot of weird stuff, and it was kind of commonplace. The drawers and cabinet doors and stuff would open and whatnot, and it just didn't really think too much about it. It was just the way things were. And then I really started getting into it, and I was young teens, probably 13, 14. I started getting
Hmm.
books, reading and studying, and I got really big into cryptozoology, and just kind of wanted to pursue it a little bit more. So trying to find a group, and Pulse was actually the first one I came across, and I applied, and they accepted me, and I haven't looked back. So
Cool. Okay.
Mine's a little different. So growing up, I didn't really have a whole lot of experiences until I was a teenager, and then for some reason or another, I started seeing spirits. I started hearing them, being able to talk to them, and it's been getting stronger the older I get. And that was scary and alarming, and I wanted to, seek out people who had the same experiences and be part of a group who understood. And I came across Pulse, and it's been incredible, and we're really like a family at the end of the day, regardless if it's family stuff or paranormal stuff, we're always there for each other. So
Right.
it's been an incredible journey.
Okay. My friend to the left.
Janie, Dutchlander.
So I've always been fascinated by the paranormal, watched tons of horror movies, read tons of scary books. Did not have any experience until like after I turned 40 at least. But I was in a restaurant in an old hotel in Ogden having dinner with a friend, and all of a sudden this guy comes up, "Hey, how are you?" And I was like, fine. And I turned around and he's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I thought you were somebody else." I was like, "No problem."
Oh,
So
wow.
he sits down. So we're trying to question the server about the history. And unfortunately, that building was owned by the people you asked about, and the employees were not to discuss anything. And that building has tons of history.
Oh, wow.
So she said, if you want to know about it, go talk to those people over there. So I look, and there's the guy, and then there's Carrie, and a lot of people always ask us if we're related. And she had longer, darker hair at the time. And when I looked over there, I was like, wow, no wonder he thought I was her. So I feel like my membership with Pulse was meant to be.
Okay. You know what? I am so proud of each and one of y'all. I really am. You know why?
Why?
Nobody said Hollywood made me do it. I am so proud because I get so many people on my podcast and they say that because Hollywood make it so interesting. So I want to do it.
That,
If I
they're not
can,
paranormal investigators when
if
Exactly.
I can make a comment to that aspect, nobody on this team is doing this for any sort of fame. This is
Exactly.
everybody on this team wants to do this because we want to know, we want to be scientific about it, and we want the truth. So, like,
Passion.
not a single one of us is doing this for fame, and I can guarantee that.
yeah.
Yeah. And that's the way it should be, man.
Mhm.
Even though it's a lot of hard work, you got to be dedicated. I mean, you gotta, man, there is so much I can say about being a paranormal investigator, but the one word that I can really say is dedicated. You gotta
Yeah.
have heart.
You
There's
gotta
so much.
you gotta
Here's some
stick with your
dedication for
rules. You
you.
gotta stick with your team, stick with your rules and your views, and
Yeah,
not be afraid to stay where you stand on all of it. So,
yeah. All right. You know what, guys? Carrie, this question is specifically for you.
okay.
Since you, the team leader, founder, uh, we have a hard time down here with historical society. We all know the historical society runs the show. If you want to get into something old and historic and investigate it, you pretty much got to go to them because they got their claws into every building that has some kind of history or significant value of history. Have you come across them, and has it been good or has it been bad?
Yeah, I've been dealing with them for years. The best way I say I came up or come about it is I love meeting and talking to people. And so I just go, I talk, and then they start, I tell them what I do, but I also, everyone on the team loves history. We all love history. Everybody will research it. Um, my philosophy is if you don't like history, then you really have no business doing the paranormal investigating.
Right.
Then what are you doing it for? Um, so I've just been very lucky in the people that I've met, from mayors to city people to tourism directors and all that have given me the ability to get into the historical records and to get into locations that other teams have never even been able to step foot in. Hello, Cheryl. So there's a lot through the years that Pulse has done that I still sit back and am absolutely amazed by. It is getting a little bit harder now because of these Hollywood teams. I call them pop up teams. They're going in now and they're starting to ruin it for every true investigating team there is because they're damaging things and then things have to be shut down. Or now everywhere is caught on, well, now we're going to charge you this god awful sum to come in. Now, luckily, I still have locations that I can get us into. Some of it we pay just a little bit, but not much, and others I can get into that are still free, but it's getting a lot harder. But you just
Mhm.
have to stand your ground, stick with what you do, realize maybe these next couple months may not be as active when it comes to investigating, but there's other things you can do too. And there's tons of reviewing and history and stuff. All of that has to be done too. It's not just
Right.
about investigating. So there's a lot to do, but I think we've been pretty lucky.
Okay, cool.
If
You
it's
know,
okay, could we address or ask Cheryl about the comment she made about, I think it pertains to your question of why we're in Paranormal Pulse.
mm-hmm.
Um, Cheryl, if you're okay, your comment is you do it because of your sons. Would you care to elaborate on that?
I
Thank you.
apologize because I did not see that.
It says, yes, she would care to elaborate.
Okay, I'm not seeing.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's my buddy Cheryl. Cheryl is, man. They live in deep. It can't get no deeper south than South Texas. And they live in South Texas, and man, they have an unbelievable team. They came on a podcast last year and just blew me away on the stuff that they're doing down there. Unbelievable. Well respected paranormal team that they're doing. And it's just not. It's a whole family effort. When I mean family, I mean aunts, sisters, brothers. It's a well organized family team that they're doing down there, and nothing but respect and love for them. But Cheryl, if you would like to answer the question, that would be great.
Oh, and she just did.
Okay.
Oh wow.
It's
I don't
weird
see
that
it, so I must be out of the thing here.
Can you guys see it?
Mhm.
Yeah.
it's weird because you guys are getting this before I get it. I don't know, man.
Well, Cheryl, thank you so much for that answer.
Thank you. Yes.
That's heartfelt. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
No,
But,
family goes a long ways because we have our own family. That will join us on some investigations, but
Mhm.
I consider each member here one of my kids, even though 3 of us are close in age and the other 2 in the middle are youngins. I still, when I'm at home, I think, are they doing okay? What are they doing? I know they had to face this today. Are they okay? I would die for them. They are my family, and I will always do my best to make sure that I can provide them with what they need in this field. And and this year we're just kind of rebranding it and reapproaching it, just ripping, saying we've gone down this road. Let's reevaluate, open it up, go for it again. So.
And when I first contacted you, Carrie, when I called you on the phone, the first question you asked, do you remember the first question you asked me?
No, sir. I don't.
The first question you asked me is, how did you hear about us?
Yeah.
And believe it or not, NSPS TV Paranormal Podcast, we're always in the shadows. We're always watching what other paranormal investigators do. And that's how and that's how you learn things.
Definitely.
So I'm always watching in the shadows. I might not comment on a lot of things, but I'm always watching.
Yeah.
and when and when me and you talked, I'm like, well, hey, I'll follow you. I didn't want to say anything, but hey, I'll follow. I don't want to, but I say, hey, I'll follow you guys on Facebook. I'll follow you guys on your
Well,
social
we
media.
appreciate that. And as you can tell lately, our podcast, because I've taken over doing the podcast, and I'm an old one. I didn't grow up with computers. I'm
Yeah,
learning it. We're getting it done. It's getting better each time. But we're like, we're going to do it. We're going to roll with the flow. And if we mess up, we mess up. We'll just laugh about it and,
yeah.
right back.
That's all.
That's
That's
all you
all you
can
can do.
do. Yeah.
I mean, you can believe how many times I've messed up on a podcast. But you know what? I'll laugh about it and move on.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
and who's
Don't
gonna
tell
judge me for it?
Yeah, I don't like being said we can't do something because then I'm like, oh no, we can and we're going to. So
Yes, ma'am. Hey, stick your chin up and just move forward. That's all you can do. Hey, question for you, Carrie. Now, you're the head honcho up there. If any of your teammates, of your members, say, "Hey, Carrie, I think this place should be investigated," are you all for it?
I tell you what, if I give my team absolute control to go talk to people and try to find locations, I am there to back them and to give them, the information that they need to give to the clients. But I absolutely trust every single one of them. If there's a
Mhm.
place that they find that they want to investigate, and we know, basically safety of all things, that's in play, um, then I trust them. And then, yeah, we're going to go investigate where they choose to investigate and why they want to investigate it. We
Okay.
don't all, there's certain locations that not everybody's on the same level of like, I don't like this place or this place makes me uncomfortable. But everybody shows up, everybody watches out for everybody, and we do what we're going to do. So
Hmm.
I absolutely trust them with all of it. You say
Okay.
I'm the leader, but I can only be if I have good people behind me, and I've got,
There you go. Man, you sound like a true leader. You really do.
well,
How far is too far for an investigation for you guys? What are you willing to do and what aren't you willing to do for an investigation?
first of all, I'm going to say something team wise, just because this is the one step where I will say, as being the leader of Pulse, um, we don't do cleanings or cleansings. We don't do, we don't follow the demonic route road. um, but it is up to each individual investigator as to what their comfort level is. They will never be asked to do or participate in something that they are not comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
So I cannot sit here and say that Jane has to do this when Jane's not comfortable with that.
Right,
I
right.
know, and I know who's where on what, but even with that, I always give them the opportunity, and they always have the right to say no. I'm not comfortable with it. They're not going to get punished for it or anything. We're like, okay, well, either we won't do it, or someone else will come along or whatever. So for each has their own voice in this.
Understandable. But I'm going to be honest with you. One thing about my podcast, I don't lie and I try to be honest as I can. I've done some things I'm not proud of. I've done, you know what I'm saying? I might have jumped a fence or two, climbed, I've done some things to, that shouldn't be done, but you know what? It was done. You know what I'm saying? I've always tried to be honest with what is going on. I've always tried to be honest with my team, and I always tell them, if you guys feel uncomfortable about this, I understand. But if somebody scoots me under that gate, I mean, I'm not going to fight them. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to fight them with it. But yeah, if somebody forces my hand to turn that doorknob, man, I'm not gonna be holding my hand, man. I'm just gonna say somebody made me do it. You know, but but as far as I've never done anything where law enforcement has got involved in it. I've never been kicked out of all trespassing, even though I did. Yeah, yeah, I got
Yeah,
kicked
we
out of
were
a
all kids
cemetery.
once, but yeah, we don't trespass, and luckily, um, law enforcement through the years has been very kind to us. So, um, yeah. As for any other things that typical things that I think we get asked about, will we or won't we do? Um, yeah, I think that's something that needs to be more specific to kind of answer that.
Well, I mean, I turned that doorknob. Somebody opened that gate. But okay, I mean, I understand that. But see, the one thing I love about Texas, guys, and I'm going to be very honest with you, there is a paranormal investigator team just about around the corner.
Mhm.
Wow.
We're everywhere. I think there's more paranormal investigators in this state than there are cops in this state.
Yeah.
And I'm just being honest with you.
Wow.
I'm thinking paranormal teams are being formed just about every day.
Oh yeah.
I get phone calls. Hey, man, can you help me? What do I need to do to put this team together? Just tell me the basics. And I always tell them before you jump into anything, just the conversation we had a couple minutes ago. Just know your history, do your research, make sure this is what you want to do because there are dangers to being a paranormal investigator. People think that we go and we put a couple of cat balls out, we put a couple of cameras out, and that's it. No,
Mm.
that might be true to a certain aspect, but there is a lot more to it than just doing that.
There's
You
a
know what
lot
I'm
of
saying?
safety too. I, Unfortunately, I see a lot of. Well, to give an example, I've had locations call me and ask if I would vet people who wanted to come and investigate their facility. And I'm like, sure. Um, some of the things that I got blew my mind away. And I'm just like, I had the pleasure of saying, nope, nope.
Hmm.
But it wasn't about, you know, there's paranormal teams out there everywhere now. Yeah, they're coming, they're going, they're mainly selling tickets to an event or not. They're not withstanding and staying in there deep. But I mean, I've gotten people saying, well, we want to do what you do, but we want to go 3 nights with no sleep, no food, go up to the third floor and face the demon that's up there. And I'm just flabbergasted with, like, okay, what show are you watching? And no, no, no. That's what they're coming across as a lot of these pop-ups. Or like Drew said, we make no money whatsoever.
Whatsoever.
We have done so much and try to do as much as we can for several cities, for historical buildings. I mean, we've done so much to give back. So we're
Hmm.
never making any money. But a lot of groups today, if you look, it's all about how popular they can be with everything. And then it's always selling tickets. consulting
Mhm.
to go do this, to do that. And I'm sorry, I don't think with big groups that you're actually able to do a solid investigation. So I look at those as more entertainment groups, honestly.
Right.
And I'm sorry if that offends anybody. I'm just kind of brutally honest.
Well, hey, honestly, it's the best key, best value. Be honest. Tell it how it is. I mean, because there's a lot of people out there that just got us thinking that we're this and we're that, but
Yeah. The true old school teams are getting harder and fewer to find, but we're sticking in there. We're
hmm
sticking in there. So
okay, yeah. Okay. This might be a hard question for you guys to answer, but I'm gonna ask it anyway.
Okay.
Can somebody tell me? Because there's a reason why I'm asking all this. Because all this is gonna come into play as the podcast goes on. Can somebody tell me what century is it in? What century are we in right now?
Centuries.
are we looking at
Are
paradigms?
we in the 21st century, the 20th century, the 19th century? What century are we in right now, guys?
21st.
21st century. Okay.
It should be the 20th if you go zero first.
It
Yeah,
doesn't. It doesn't go.
Okay, Drew. Since you answered the question and you got the bush can in your hand, what is that? Oh, that's a pig. It was the bush can.
I thought it was too from the very beginning. I
Okay.
thought, oh, Drew's having. I thought it was Bud Light.
I thought you had more faith in me than that.
Hey, Drew, you're lucky, man, because sometimes that's what I have right here. I'm kidding you. Because sometimes you just on these podcasts, you gotta have a drink to deal with certain individuals that come on.
Yeah.
You really don't know. You really don't know. Okay, Drew. Now, since you answered the question, maybe you can answer this question for me. Now, spirits. Oh man, if I had a book, the spirit world, the book it can start off like this, if you guys can see that, but it's constantly growing, and we can never catch up with it, right? You can never catch up with it. Okay, the question that I have for you is, why come paranormal investigators have not adapted to the 21st century ways of technology trying to investigating?
That's actually I've never really thought about that one before. That's really good. I think it's because we get comfortable in the methods we use, technology that we use with like digital recorders and cameras and stuff like that. We know as much as we can know anyways that those are effective methods of communicating. And I think because of how little time we have to actually investigate some of these locations, trying to get new technology in there and trying to get usable results out of new technology may just be time consuming.
The reason why I asked that is, like Carrie was saying, there's a lot of teams out there that pays. I mean, a lot of locations that pays lots and lots. They want you to pay a lot of money to come into their location.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a money. It's a money game. It's a money thing.
They want to get scared.
But the problem is, let's say if I'm a spirit or you guys are a spirit, and you constantly see 50,000 paranormal investigators at one location just come and man, and you get tired of it. You get tired of seeing that, and you get tired of what is the one famous question a paranormal investigator asks a ghost?
Which one? Are you here? What's your name? Is there anybody here?
Can you believe how? Hey man, if I was a spirit, do you know I would probably put cotton balls in my ear, so I won't hear that.
I'm just trying to
No,
I'm being
that's
honest with you.
yeah, that's something that um, we try to avoid. We pretty much go in as if we know we're entering their space. So it's like introducing yourself, just talking amongst each other, maybe asking, talking, and then like, well, if a student here, or just gradually, because you find you get more when you're not drilling these repetitive questions. And as investigators, when you constantly ask the same question to question, you're not focusing either, because you're like, yeah, here we go again, again, again. So you're shutting yourself off to experiencing things. And I think
Right.
sometimes it's just go in, just be, go quiet, just sit, just listen, feel, just be.
and
And
I
then,
think, from my own personal experience, I feel like we've got um, sometimes not necessarily better evidence, but more evidence of something when we're all just kind of sitting at base camp and BSing with each other.
Yeah.
We'll catch more random noises in the background and stuff like that.
because if you think about it, that's personable. I mean, they are people. They're people just like us who have died. They have the same traits that we do, we assume. So we don't have the answers, and we're never going to have those answers. This is a field. All the equipment in the world that they're making, is electrician tools. None of it is really in the realm where it needs to be to investigate. Our best equipment is ourselves. What we're hearing, what we're experiencing, what we're seeing, but we can't take what we have in us and present it to someone else or as evidence. That's the one thing we cannot do. We can say we've had personal experiences, but we can't take that and prevent that as evidence. Um, and it's okay to say when you go, I don't know what's going on. I always say if someone's got the answers, roll your pants up, because it's going to get piled high and deep in there, because we don't know. I can't even tell you by looking at you guys what answers would be given to me on things. So how are we, it's just going and
Right. Because I've constantly asked people that question, and most of them can't answer it.
Carrie's frozen.
Yeah, I think she's frozen.
Yeah, she is. I'll text her.
Yeah. Yeah, she's frozen. And a lot of people cannot answer that question. But as the book gets thicker, and it's ever evolving, there's got to be. I mean, 20th century technology is not going to do it anymore. Especially if you want to be able to find that that 100% pure evidence that you want to catch. I mean, this is just me talking. I think we needs to go. I just think we need to evolve ourselves like the book is ever evolving. Uh-oh.
And I agree with you on that front. And again, the newer technology stuff, it does get kind of pricey, when it comes to stuff like that. And as where we do this as a hobby and as a passion, sometimes it's hard to come up with the funds to get some of those things, especially when
Right.
it's becoming more and more that we have to pay to get into locations and stuff like that. It gets pretty difficult. But I mean, there's nobody on our team, anyways, that I'm aware of is shunning any new form of technology. It's just we're using what we're comfortable with and what we know gets results.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it'd be kind of it's kind of a letdown, if you go out and pay $1,200 for a new piece of equipment, and you take it out 2 or 3 investigations in a row and nothing happens. Like you're like, well, what did I spend this money for?
Yes, sir.
So Cheryl asked how many we have in the group. So we have Kimberly, Marissa, Drew, Carrie, myself, Cordell, Curry,
Rob.
Dave,
Rob.
Chris, Rob.
Okay, so where did she get taken off, or is she?
She got kicked off. I said we lost you, and she said I just got kicked off.
Oh yeah, man. She'll if she can jump back in, I'll add her back to the podcast. The thing is, Drew, without like I was talking to you guys about, if I was a spirit, I would get tired of seeing the same old, same old. And that's probably why you go into some locations, you really don't pick anything up because it's been flooded with so much of the same old, same old. Spirits don't want to interact with you. You know what I'm saying? So if somebody out there brings something different to the table where these guys can interact with it, I think you will be able to catch more evidence. It all depends on what it is.
Carrie said she's trying, but everything is going nuts.
Oh no.
It's that farmer's market internet she's got up there.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Little gerbil out there with the
Yeah. But no, we there's actually been, like, even with the equipment that I have personally, I've made a couple modifications to some of them, just trying to get some different results, and sometimes a little bit cleaner results if I can. But there's just small things, really. Like I'm okay with breaking a $20 device if I have to see if I can play with it.
Right.
A lot of the things that, like, when we go into locations, especially with the equipment and how pricey it can get, I don't spend a whole lot of money on equipment just because I go off of what I see. And then, of course, like the recorders, I can get feedback. And another big thing is if you have a specific location where either a murder happened or kidnapping, people go in there and assume they're going to talk to that spirit, and that spirit is there. And half the time, they're not even there. And people go in expecting to talk to so-and-so because this is infamous and they're going to be there when we go and investigate. And that is not always the case. That person is not always there. So it's interesting to hear that, especially from, the TV shows that glamorize that. But it's not usually the case.
Yep, you're absolutely right. Now, since the team leader is not here, what do you guys do to put your name out? What I mean is, what do you guys do in the community to make Pulse Paranormal Pulse the team that they are?
I feel like Kimberly might be best geared to answer that one.
I think with us, it's just we're genuine. We're not out to make a dollar from anybody. We're there to either debunk, explain what's going on, just to be genuine. And that kind of goes back to when you're investigating and going high tech with equipment. Honestly, if you're not genuine when you're doing an investigation, I don't think you're going to get what you're looking for. And it's like Carrie said, the spirits are people who've passed. So it's not like they're like, oh, they've got this great piece of equipment, I'm going to talk to this instead. But if you're going in there to make a joke out of it or make a game of it, you're going to get what you're putting in. So I think when we go in with genuine minds, we want to be honest, upfront. We're not going to hide. We're not going to sugarcoat. So I think that's what helps Paranormal Pulse be the name that we are, and get the investigations that some people don't get, because we go in with integrity. We go in with respect. and we are honest. And again, we're very genuine when we're doing an investigation. We're not out there to trigger anything. We're not out there to search for every demon that may be out there. And we all have different beliefs on that. But, it's our integrity. That's what gets us
Carrie
there.
mentioned that she helped get some tourism in a town in Utah. She went down and she was ill several occasions. She had to go all the way down there in the winter to their city council meetings and present the group, but she did it anyway. We've been down there and we've investigated, and then she actually got Ghost Adventures there. There is an episode of them in Eureka, Utah, which Carrie is on, but she did all of that for that town to help bring bring tourists back there. So she does things like that, and as Kimberly mentioned, there's no money involved.
No, never.
No, reporting to the press or anything like that. Carrie does that herself.
Wow.
And
That's
and on top of that, like, places, like you're talking about, Jane, like, it's nice that sometimes you can be on a first name basis with like the mayor of a town, or like elected city officials and stuff like that. Hey, and like they know who you are, they trust you. They know that you're not going to damage this location.
Right.
And it feels really nice to have that amount of credibility behind us as well.
And we definitely build that rapport with a lot of different people. And it makes it special because it's personalized. It's, it's an individual basis, and we definitely love putting our name out there, but we're not in it for, show business or anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's to meet people, to understand their location, what's going on. And it's great to have those connections.
And Carrie also will call the local law enforcement and let them know, hey, we're Paranormal Pulse. We're doing an investigation. We're here from X to X time. Just wanted you to know. She almost, she does that everywhere.
Hey, there's definitely nothing wrong with that. Not at all.
And I'm not saying I wouldn't mind seeing a big fat paycheck in my mailbox every now and then. That's
hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Hey, tell me a little bit. One thing I do know about the United States, every state has an urban legend. Every state. Doesn't matter if you're in Alaska, Hawaii, the Solomon Islands, everybody has an urban legend. Tell me a little bit about Utah's, besides Dugway, urban legends. And if so, have you guys investigated it?
Bear Lake has a monster. No, we have not. There's a pterodactyl from Idaho that comes to Utah. No, we have not. And the Great Salt Lake also has a monster. No, we have not.
Well, there's no water left in that, so I don't think there's a monster there anymore.
Wow.
Down like central-ish Utah, there's a lot of like Wild West history. There's a lot of stuff down there, Butch Cassidy and stuff like that, and like a lot of his treasure, and you can follow that trail and stuff. As far as I'm aware, we haven't investigated any of that stuff, but
Out in Vernal, they have, what's that place called?
The ranch.
Oh, the ranch.
But yeah,
out in Vernal.
Skinwalker Ranch out in Vernal, which I would love to go out there, but good luck with that.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about Skinwalker Ranch is there's a guy, if you guys can afford it, he is renting out a plateau that he owns. So you guys and look over Skinwalker Ranch. I think it's going like for $2,400. I think it's $2,400 a night.
Yeah, I came across his website. Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
So
We all better get an extra job. Let's do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, one thing about Texas, man, It's so big, and it seems like every town, every city has an urban legend. Uh, but the most famous ones that you guys probably heard of are the Black Eyed Children
Yeah.
out of West Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I can honestly tell you, I've never ran across them. And personally, I don't think they want to run across me. Yeah, so, okay.
Well,
I'm,
we
I'm
also
not
have
real-
the Salt Lake City Cemetery, and there's a lot of urban legends up there.
Oh yeah.
With there's a grave that's I should have been a little more prepared on this one. There's a grave that is marked like marked by the beast or mark of the
Oh
beast.
yeah.
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 Yeah, it's a teenage boy, and the headstone is giant Michael standing on the Satan's. I mean, it's huge.
So yeah, our Salt Lake City Cemetery is quite the place.
Mm.
And
Now,
Ogden too is really happening.
Ogden could be a hotbed internationally, but a certain group of people don't want to talk about it and don't want to deal with it.
now is cemetery a place you guys would consider investigating, or you guys are, a little bit elevated past that? Because I've got a lot of guys, man, who love cemetery. You know what, man? I'm not going to kid you. I'm a cemetery guy. I love cemeteries. Hell, I can go sit in one and just talk all night long.
Yeah.
But some people are above that because they think the cemetery is a place where you go to rest. But the thing with me is, damn, how long can you? I mean, eventually you're gonna wake up. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
I
Carrie,
personally am not. Oh, sorry, Jane. Go ahead.
sorry, Carrie does, I believe, she does not investigate cemeteries out of respect for the dead there. Is that not right, Kimberly?
But you guys have done one before I came on over
Oh,
in
Mercer. Yeah. Like
Mercer.
she
But it's not
probably
a
would go to like the local city cemetery.
Right.
The one
Yeah.
we
No.
went to was at a mining town.
Yeah, that's no longer active.
Yeah.
But personally, for me, I don't. I would investigate a cemetery if the opportunity came up. I'm not against it by any means.
Mhm.
That's not the place I would look. I mean, for me personally, if I were a spirit, I wouldn't want to be hanging around where my body's laid out the whole time. I want to go back to what I can remember as being a lot better than that. So
Right.
to me, I don't feel that we would get a lot of evidence or activity in a cemetery. And by all means, prove me wrong, but it doesn't make sense to me.
You know what, Drew? Pack your bags, brother. You're coming to Texas. We're going to prove you wrong.
I'm
Just
up for
trust
that
me,
challenge.
man. How long can you get away from the job? Because I can tell you, dude, cemeteries down here are awesome. Most of them are historic. Most of them are old, and most of them will creep you the heck out.
I'm on my way. I'm on my way.
I can honestly say that cemeteries in the southern part of Texas, of the United States, there's a lot of unsettled rest that's going on down here. You can't, man. I'm just being honest with you guys, dude. We've got some cemeteries down here that will shake you. I mean, it would definitely put you guys on the weird list. Look who's back in.
Yay!
She's back.
No
I would
idea
love
what
to listen to
happened.
Yeah. She was back. She's out of there.
There she is.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I don't know.
Carrie,
Where'd she go again?
where'd she go?
Lost her. Now, I think cemeteries are fascinating. I would love to do an investigation in a cemetery, though I think the contamination is really hard if you're trying to get evidence. I think just with with people driving by or whatever the location is, I think the contamination would be tough.
Well, the good thing about cemeteries in Texas, they're so old and so post World War, not World War One, post, um, what is the word I'm looking for? They are post slave era,
Okay.
so there's no roads.
Wow.
There's no roads,
Yeah,
but
we need to come down.
there are a lot of angry spirits because, believe it or not, there. Believe it or not, guys, when you step into a cemetery, especially a slave cemetery, you can honestly feel the difference between the air as you're walking in and the air that's once you get in there. I mean, it's oh my god, dude! It's totally you. If you totally would have to experience that.
Yeah.
What's the oldest grave you've seen?
The oldest grave in Texas, I think I've seen one. Oh god, dude! I want to say 1695.
Wow.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, and we were just in a, you know what? We were just in a cemetery, a slave cemetery 2 weeks ago, and some of these slaves and some of these headstones are not even marked.
Wow.
Not even marked. And slave plantations. That's a topic we can do on its own when it's come to the South because um, it's it was horrible. And believe it or not, man, I can take you guys to a slave plantation right now. You guys are here, and your mind will be blown.
Wow.
I've been to a few. I lived in Charleston, South Carolina.
I would love to investigate one of those.
Me too.
Is Carrie in?
Road trip.
I'm here. Can you see or hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Can you guys see her?
Yes.
Ooh.
Can you not see her?
No, I cannot see her.
Can you
She's
hear
not on
her?
the screen. I can hear her.
Oh yeah. No, we
Oh,
can see
no,
her.
I can see and hear everybody. I have no
Okay,
idea
well,
what's going on.
sorry we missed you, but we've been having a fun conversation. We've been having it really fun. Actually, pack your luggage because you're coming to Texas next week.
We already agreed to it, Carrie. We can't get out now.
I know, it's fine. It's fine. Last time I was in Texas was in San Marcos area, and we went driving and found this old jail. Oh my goodness. And I asked if, sweet talking, if I could go in and investigate. And they're not supposed to, but they let me. And that was the creepiest little jail. And whoever wound up on the third floor, I don't even see how they could have survived because the heat, and it was just horrible. But I love going to jails. So.
Yeah, one thing about Texas is if you cannot tolerate the heat during the summertime, you're not much of a paranormal investigator.
Hey, we live in a desert. I think we're prepared.
Luckily, I've lived all over the world. I grew up in Ohio and then lived in Charleston, South Carolina. Then I lived in Cleveland and then back to South Carolina and out here. So I've got to investigate a lot of places and countries and Charleston. Grew up. We had the Underground Railroad, and that which is all intriguing. So.
Yeah, Charleston is probably one of the most haunted cities.
Thank you for saying that, because everybody wants to say Savannah is, and I'm like Charleston.
one of the most haunted cities in the South. I'm going to say the city in Georgia. I can't think of the name of it.
Or Savannah.
Savannah.
Marietta. Oh, Savannah.
Savannah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Savannah is probably, yeah, it's up there. Now, I'm not going to say most haunted because we really don't know.
Yeah.
Because it could be a little town down the street can have a hell of a paranormal activity and nobody know anything about it.
And
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
what I like for us to do is that everybody can go to the same place over and over, but when you get a location that nobody's heard of and you go, I think those are the best.
And you know what? And that is my specialty, my friend.
So
I don't,
fine and
I will, my team, if they choose to, guys, they can spend the money to go to any location that they want to pay for. 1,000,000 boots can be on the floor. And if they choose to go spend that money on that, that's fine. But my specialty is take a little drive around the corner and see what's there. Because you never know. You never
yeah,
know. And since I've been doing this, I can honestly say my success rate in finding haunted locations where nobody's have stumped the yard in multiple times is almost 95%.
yeah,
It's pretty good, so I really don't care for a lot of. I mean, those places, like you say, Carrie, you're gonna pay a ton of money, and then you might not, you might not. You don't really know till you get in there. But the thing is, you might and might not at this new location. But you know what? You're not spending a lot of money to
yeah.
go get into it.
Mhm.
That's the key.
Yeah, and
You
that's
know?
the thing also is that not every location you go to is going to have activity, or if it is, you might go, one night and nothing happens, then the next night something crazy happens. You don't know.
No, you don't.
So, when you're paying to go join these tours or investigations, it's just a lot of
Sorry, I gotta
where
move around a little.
the exorcism, Jamie.
You know, the most haunted location could be in if you live in an apartment, it could be your next door neighbor. You won't
Yeah.
know. You
Yeah.
won't know.
We have a location that it's kind of in limbo at the moment. But there's been times where I've gone in there and just had a whole bunch of weird stuff that I can't explain go on, and then the next time you go, you're excited to go do it again.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm going to figure out what this is doing.
Mhm.
Nothing happens. You're just going to curl up in the corner and take a nap. So
There you go. All right, guys. We're going on an hour and 18 minutes. Now, Drew, Carrie, Kimberly, and where'd my other friend go?
Jane?
I'm here.
There she is. You're my friend. I can't pronounce the name that you got on there.
Oh, it's just a little mishmash of German.
Ah, okay. The reason why I brought up the 21st century and the technology is what I'm going to present to you guys today.
Okay.
Now, I know it's the technology that we have today would never catch up with what is written in the book. I know that. But with me being a paranormal investigator, I'm also an inventor. I like to invent things. I like to present things to paranormal other teams and see what they think. Okay, the first one, if I can have your attention, mostly for you, Drew, because I think these things will look good on you. I really do. I really think Okay, who's the camera person? Who holds the cameras?
Carrie.
Carrie. If I can take that away from you, how would you feel?
taking the camera away from me. So I would enjoy it sometimes. Yeah.
You would you? Okay, Drew, Kimberly, Carrie, and
Janie.
Jamie. When you guys are investigating, you hear that. What is the first thing that moves on your body?
Oh, your head, your eyes.
Aha, aha. Your head. So you're gonna move right. You're gonna move left. So Carrie, when you're holding that camera, what's gonna move first? That camera or your head?
Well, the way I do it is like this. I don't look through it, but I hold it up so that it goes where my eyes are going. But yeah.
You're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me, Smalls. Hey, just doing that, you're gonna be in the jacuzzi by the time the investigation because you're doing
we
this.
also have it rigged, so you have one behind you too. But
okay, so what about if I can tell you? What about if I can tell you I can take that all away from you? Would you be upset?
360.
If I can take that all away from you guys, would you guys be upset with me?
No.
No. Okay. You know what these are, Drew?
Yeah, they look like the kind of the Google Scout prototypes a little bit.
All right, guys, this is what I'm implementing into my team. These are camera glasses, and you're able to record audio, video, maybe 2.5 hours of audio and video time. Okay, these things come in different formats. This particular glass here is 1080p. The ones I dropped on the floor is 4K.
Shouldn't have dropped those ones.
And they come from China. And it took almost a month to get here. So guys, if I'm out investigating, like Carrie said, what's the most important thing that you need to investigate with? What is the most important thing on your body that you need?
Your eyes.
Your ears and your eyes.
Flashlight, audio, your sensibility.
All those are good, but investigations would not be possible without these.
Hands.
You need your hands. You know what I'm saying? The eyes are good, but without the hands, you wouldn't have anything. Because Carrie, you need those hands to hold that camera up, right?
Yeah, or I got a homemade frame.
Yeah. Hey, Drew, you need that hands to hold up that EVP recorder, that K2. That you need your hands to drop that ghost ball, that damn cat ball that that everybody uses today, right? So the hands are used a lot. So why not take advantage of that with these? If you catch that, if you like me, Kimberly, and my friend in the middle right here, I can't get her name. Okay, we can, and Carrie, we can retrofit these. If you take these to your eye doctor, they can retrofit these for the glasses that you wear. That is really freaking cool, ain't it?
Yeah, I thought I saw something like that not too long ago.
Pretty cool. So I can picture Carrie wearing these, or or if you want to go old school,
old BC glasses.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Same
used
thing.
to have an investigator who wore a pair.
Same thing.
Max.
And we're all, well, I can't tell you how old I am. That's against the man code. But I am of age. Yeah, I am of age to know the game Simon Says. If you ever played Simon Says, raise your hand. So you guys know that big round circle that if you hit that button, you got to react to it, and so much, and so on and so on. Well, I've built a device just like that. You can put on a table. If you guys do residential, you guys can put this device on the table, and you can touch it, and you can ask whoever's in there that you want to communicate with. Can you do the same thing? And I can honestly tell you the success rate has been pretty good using it. I have not put it out to the world yet, but it's literally sitting right over there on the thing over there. I was going to get up and grab it. But that's why I was asking you guys about the 21st century and the 20th century technology is the reason why is because I'm trying to keep up with that book. Now I know I'll never be able to keep up with it, but I'd rather be 1 or 2 pages behind it than a whole damn chapter behind it. If you guys understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we
You know
used
what
to
I'm
have
saying?
2 guys on our team, and their job was they created equipment to try and use, and they came up with some really good stuff. But for everything that's created, there's always a flaw to it because nothing is 100% or guaranteed. But there was always trying to create something new, and I think we all talk about that, if not, well, not necessarily only with equipment, but new in the way of approaching investigations. Equipment
Hi,
that
Virgil. I like your stories.
I see. I don't see where everybody sits. I'm on a full page here, but I mean, we're trying to reapproach equipment that we've kind of pushed off and reevaluating them and everything. So it's
And you know
all.
what? And you know what, Carrie? You're right. And I reevaluated one particular equipment that a lot of paranormal teams just kicked to the wayside. And once again, were any of you guys born in the late 70s? Raise your hand. Wow. Okay. Anybody was born in the 80s? Raise your hand. Okay. Anybody remember the TV show Kolchak?
I
Oh,
remember
yeah.
it.
Yep.
Okay. Uh,
We got some
now,
60s here,
The Night
60s babies.
Stalker.
now, if you guys ever remember a TV show, because I'm always watching old TV shows, where he had that one device that nobody uses. Can you guys tell me what that is?
I've never seen the show.
Recorder.
Nope. A parabolic.
Parabolic, yeah.
A parabolic. Now, if I was to go back, a parabolic, it would probably be the best thing that somebody could ever use. And
We
a
had
lot of
What is that?
It's like it has the big round for listening. We had a studio high condensed mic that we would
too,
set
Virgil.
out. We have 3 of them. And then we'd sit at base camp, and they could be 3 floors up, and if you talked in a whisper, it would pick you up. This mic would catch some of the best voices from nowhere that you would have sat and swore. In fact, many a times it's like, there's a fleshy up there. There's got to be a fleshy up there. And you've been there the whole time. You know nobody's there, but you're getting this voice. It's so clear through this high condensed mic that. And what the cool thing was is that you could have other investigators put earphones or whatever and listen to the news. We used to sit and listen to that and be able to write, it's mail, this is being said, or this is, something was thrown. without even having to go up there. But when you did go up there, since you were listening to what was going on, you kind of went up into that moment. So it was like going in informed on what was happening, and that
Mhm.
allowed further events to happen.
And and the great thing with that parabolic is you able to retrofit it with a regular uh, audio device, so you can go on for hours and hours. Now your trigger finger might get hurt because you're constantly holding it like this, and you go on like this all the time. But if you put some tape on it and just hold it, you're fine. You're really fine. The only thing is, it works so good. Like Carrie was saying, you're able to pick up a lot of stuff.
Mhm.
When we were at Oak Park in Bellinger, Texas, I mean, not to be funny, but I actually heard somebody using the bathroom.
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's how, and the bathroom is downstairs to the, no, downstairs to the left or to the right. You actually had to go through the kitchen to actually use the bathroom, if I'm right. But yeah, I was actually here. I actually heard that flush.
Oh yeah. We the high condense mics.
The good thing about that one is we've had different floors noises. We've had noises on that floor. We've had noises right into it. We've had it tapped and moved.
We've been able to put three mics on different levels of the of floors. So let me ask you, what's your favorite piece of equipment?
My favorite piece of equipment is my one. Oh, get out of there. One, I think Drew would like these. Like my equipment. I've never had the same equipment everybody else has. I always think out the box. I'm an outside of the box person.
Oh,
Been
that's
that since been that since the day I was born. I think Drew would like these. Oh, these are my favorite when it comes to equipment. These right here are my favorite ones. The reason why they're my favorite because they're 4K, they're infrared, so I'm able to hit that button and ching change the vision of it or what I'm looking at and everything. And it's only one button, so I'm actually to communicate whatever I need to do with where's that button? With one yeah, with one button. I don't know if you guys can see that button.
so.
Yeah,
Do you
that's
wear those
one.
over your glasses, or do you have your lens put in them?
I can take my lenses out of my glasses and put in here
Okay, because
on certain
I can
glasses.
put that on and be blind as a bat.
Yeah, be blind as a bat. The same thing. It has a SIM card and it works pretty cool. The next thing I have we use a lot is our LED motion rods. These rods we can put in hallways and we can extend for 30 feet. And we're able to, if something walks by or detects them, they'll light up. They're pretty cool because they're different colors. They're green, orange, and red, blue, white, and orange.
Is that like the rope lights that you lay
Yes,
on? Yeah,
yeah,
I've got
yeah.
some of those.
They're sort of like that. And there's a different things. 'Cause the thing about me is when I investigate, I don't want to investigate with the same stuff that the person down the street is investigating with. That's just me. Instead of a cat ball, I have a dog ball.
Yeah.
My dog ball is the size of a softball.
We have a video. We have a video of a glow in the dark dog ball, what heavy ball being picked up and thrown at me.
Oh wow.
I mean,
Well,
they
I'll tell you what.
force.
This one here actually speaks. It sings, and it sings tunes from the. Wait a minute. All right. How many of you guys watch classic cartoons?
Well, I
Me,
Bugs
haven't in a
Bunny.
while.
I mean, Bugs Bunny, Scooby Doo,
Oh,
Daffy Duck. Okay,
Scooby
I'm a
Doo.
classic. Hey, most of those devices I have actually. What was that one saying? What's up, Doc? Uh, and it sings classic old songs
mm,
because most of my investigations are in abandoned nursing homes, abandoned heritage centers where the elderly used to live, but they moved on, and and so on and so on. So I kind of go lean towards where I'm investigating to try to get my best results at. And I can tell you, I've been successful. I'm not saying that I don't use cat balls because some of my team members do. To me, I just think they're high suspect because a big gust of wind or a small gust of wind can activate them. That's just me.
well, yeah, every piece of equipment has a flaw of some sort. I mean,
Yeah,
you, millimeters, K2s, all of that. Someone's cell phone goes, it lights up. If someone's using a walkie, it lights up. So
yeah.
there's all kinds of things that interact and will cause havoc with equipment.
And the one thing that I like about these dog balls I got is it takes a little bit more energy to activate them than the average cat ball. Okay, the cat ball, if you touch it, it'll activate. Dog ball, no, excuse me, it's not going to activate. It takes a little force for that thing to work. And that right there was give me a lot more validation than that cat ball, as like somebody opened up the door and a big gust of wind comes through, or you open up a window or something and it goes off. Oh, wait a minute, we got a spirit. No, he just opened up the door. What the hell are you talking about? Debunk.
Yeah, well, with the cat balls, you do have to stick them in secure holders and things like that. But yeah, like I said, all equipment has a faulty side to it.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
just there, you know.
My buddy Virgil, I don't know what he's on today, but he's talking
He
about
likes
custard
custard.
cream pie.
Well, he actually had a couple interesting stories. He says he's an undertaker.
Well,
That
let's see.
story of it about some people say don't fear the dead, it's the living who will harm you, but that isn't always true. My friend worked in a funeral home. One day, a coffin with a big guy in it slipped off the top shelf and crushed him. The pathologist said death would have been instantaneous.
Whoa, man. Yeah, those coffins are heavy.
I
So
used to work
anything,
Virgil has lots of interesting stories being an undertaker.
yeah, I think Virgin is from, yeah, he's from England.
Yeah, I think he put Manchester. Carrie, were you there?
No,
been
I
there?
was in Hitcham. I was closer to Bury St. Edmunds and uh, Ipswich and all those places. So
Okay.
Effingham. But
Okay.
I worked in a funeral home.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Where was that?
here in Ogden.
Oh, that's right. I
Yeah.
just remembered.
Funeral
So,
homes are
okay,
very
so
interesting.
is there anything that you would not do on an investigation? Do you have a limit or
Well, you know
level
what?
of something that you would not
I'm
do?
be, you know what? My team is not too far off from your team. I don't do anything demonic. We are a validation team only. So I don't mind coming in and helping someone that's that will like to, not think they're cuckoo. Because one thing we do that me myself, I think the paranormal field is 95% mental and 5% scientific. That's just me because when you're dealing with somebody who said, "Well, there's something going on in my house," okay, you literally will have to sit down and have a psych evaluation with this person. You know what I'm saying? You actually got to sit down and talk to this person and make sure that if he's taking meds, he's taking his meds. If he's doing this and if he's doing that, then and if he is, then that other 5% comes in. Well, let's do an investigation to make sure that something's really going on. So I'm not too far off from you guys, but I am that type of paranormal investigator. To honestly say, I have been pushed under that fence. You know what I'm saying? And I've had turned that doorknob. So I have done some trespassing before. So I'm not going to sugarcoat it, and I'm not going to say that every paranormal team in America has not done that because I know they have.
Well, I can honestly say we haven't. But at the same aspect, I have and know of teams that have.
Right.
And I try to give a fair warning, especially with some of the locations we go to. We don't necessarily have to keep it secret, but we do because of where we're at and the dangers that come with it, and the fact that unless you've got permission from the owners and you don't read the no trespassing signs, you could seriously get hurt.
Yeah.
So,
Seriously. But
yeah,
the good thing about Texas is, and I can be honest with you guys, there are so many locations that need to be investigated. I rarely ever cross that line. When I do it, it's probably one of those locations I know that, man, before they tear it down, I got to go do it. You know, but I've rarely done it. Because there's so much here
Yeah.
that God dog it. Sorry about that.
do you feel that there is a unity of, we all see that paranormal unity,
Oh my God.
friends and all that. Do you, I mean, I'm for that, for teams that are like minded. I am not for that for the teams who are just looking to find locations off of you or the pop up ones. So
To be honest
there
with
is
you,
a difference for me.
Carrie, I'm all for para unity, but it has to be
It.
right.
Yeah.
It has to be right. I'm not down with these teams who want to claim a certain territory in a certain part of the city because they live in a certain part of the older part of the city, so they get the most active areas. First of all, this is a free country the last time I remember, so we can come and go as we please. So I'm not going to have one team tell me that I can't go investigate because I didn't have your approval. Damn, do I got to have your approval to go use the bathroom? Do I got to have your approval to go eat? I don't need your approval for anything. And that's what's going on here in Texas, especially in certain cities that are 5 to 6 million, maybe 10 million plus people in there. And where, like I say, you got paranormal investigators on every corner. So for people that do that, no, I'm not with you. I never will be with you. But the minute that you decide that you want to come to my little area of Central Texas and you expect me to be courteous, open minded with you when you just treated me like crap when I went to your town. So no, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna treat you like you treat me. If you treat me with respect, I'll treat you with respect. If you treat me with honest, and with the big word integrity, hey, I would do the same to you. I don't have any problems with that. But the minute you cross that line, it's all the game is off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think every paranormal team should have that same respect that that you want. Everybody else should, it should be both ways.
But
Just
that sets the difference between true paranormal teams and the Hollywood pop-up teams.
yes,
There's two
you know,
different levels there. The one thing that our team does quite a bit is when people ask if they can go on an investigation, and we're like, sure, if it's a location that we can disclose, we will bring that person with us. We never charge for it or anything. There's sometimes we take a couple people with us, and
right,
it's all right. We say, this is who we are, this is what we do. Now you're an investigator. You're going to be using the equipment. You're going to work with everybody, because I will say, okay, Janie, go work with them for a bit, and then, or Drew. I mean, I trust every investigator to investigate with any guest that we have on our team. That's how much I value them, because you do
right.
have to do the whole the consent forms and all that. But my guys, I would trust to have them take anybody through. So
Now I have, I've been thinking about doing a junior team where I can get a bunch of, me myself. I'd rather train a young team than have a team just come in and just say, "Hey, I'm a paranormal investigator." Okay, I'd rather take you under my wing as a junior team, mostly high school kids or kids that are graduated, and
right.
or college kids that wants to be into the field, but I want to make sure that they do it right and that they understand on what they're doing.
We've
So I've
done
actually,
In fact, we've done it. In fact, it was probably a month ago, Kimberly, that we did it for, um, especially for, it was for their dads, but the two sons, and it was a good night, and it
Yeah.
opened your eyes a lot. I think we learned from them just as much, because it's when you do this for so long, things have a habit of becoming the norm, or you just dismiss things because
right.
you know and it's just where recently it's like I told the team, we're ripping all that away. Everything I said about specific equipment, not liking it, it doesn't work, whatever, forget it. We're going to reevaluate it, try it, new experiments, just everything, I mean, you just got to sometimes start all over again.
Sometimes you got to reevaluate your
Start
whole, if
all
you
over again.
Yeah.
your whole situation. If
Yeah.
you know that this situation is not the way that you want it to be, or you know that the potential is out there to be better, then sometimes you got to hit that reset button.
Yeah, that takes some work, but once you get it going, it's going to be all good.
Yeah, once you get it going, but the hardest thing is once you hit that reset button is, uh, which for me, because shit, man, I had to hit that reset button like twice. Is actually getting your information back out there, especially if you change names, getting your clientele back up, doing this, doing that. It takes a lot out of you.
Yeah, luckily we
So
still have all of that. But I am excited with what the future is going to hold, and opportunities that are coming our way, because for every door that closes, another one opens. It's just, there's a lot I think that's going to come in play for us, and On top of the investigations, we're going to start doing the excursions, getting out there and, you know, getting knee deep into the history and the locations and a lot of the outside areas. And
Well, come on down to Texas. Come
Love
on down. I can
Love
almost guarantee you, if you Texas, the four corners of Texas, the paranormal investigating is never the same.
Wow.
What you might encounter in North Texas might be different what you're going to expect in West Texas. And we don't even want to talk about South Texas because there's a lot of death, a lot of history, and you really got to prepare yourself for when you go down there. East Texas, the thing about East Texas is that one state that's next to Texas, and that's Louisiana. Louisiana brings a lot of, man, it brings a lot of weird stuff. It's totally weird, man. West Texas, if I had, you guys should start out there first, man. I mean, if you guys want to come to Texas, East Texas, Louisiana, a lot of weird voodoo. I mean, it's a lot of religion. I mean, some people consider, voodoo a religion. I don't know. A lot of people. There's a lot of things out there that people do that you really don't know why they do it, but they do it. So you got to be, you got to be on your p's and needles out there, your pins and needles out there. But yeah, I mean, guys, come on down, come on down and visit.
go to Texas.
I would love it.
Sounds
I
good.
mean, for Utah, you think of Utah and you think of this blonde hair, blue eyed Mormon state. And it is, but there are some places, I mean, like we've got Skinwalker Ranch is just like an hour or so from Salt Lake, isn't it, Drew?
It's like three or four.
So I mean,
Yes, and our host has a friend who's renting out plateaus that overlook Skinwalker Ranch for $2,400 a night. Excuse me. Let's go.
Yeah, if you guys, that'd be very interesting. Hell, I'll take that flight.
yeah. So I mean, there's a lot. Utah's a big mining state, so there's a lot of the ghost towns through the minings and the railroad, and then you had the what was the path the Mormons took? I can't think right now. When they traveled across with their with carts, and I mean, every little town there's something amazing. Ogden, I can talk about this now. One of the best locations we ever investigated. And we investigated there for a couple of years, and I became friends with the owner at the time. And that was the John Moses Browning mansion, Browning Firearms. It was his house and his wife and children. And he would give us the key on Friday and say, just, give it back on Monday morning. And such a historical site, and all that had entailed that. But the thing is, the locals didn't even know about it. The police stopped by one night asking a question, and they're like, "What is this place?" And we told them, Mr. John Moses Browning mansion, and they were shocked. So there's a lot of places around that if you dig, you'll find that there's a lot of importance in them. It's just people either don't want to know, or it's not a location that's unfortunately going to give you that scare factor. And I run into a lot of that it's no more about the investigating, it's about being scared. And that's the one thing it tells me what team would I
Well,
want going with me to a location.
I don't think there's too much out there that can scare me, man. I think I've been through it all. Um, yeah, I've been through it all. Hey guys, we've been on our podcast for an hour and 54 minutes. Now, I got a question I want you guys to really think about now. Before we get off the show, I want you guys to think about this question, and I'm going to start with Kimberly. And Kimberly, I want you to think about this, and it's going to filter down to all the other guys. And as you're talking, I want you guys to really tell me the honest truth. Okay, don't sugarcoat it. Don't do none of that. Drew, while she's thinking, go grab a Pepsi. And give me some time to think about it. Okay, Kimberly,
Yes, sir.
bucket list.
Ooh.
What location would you like to go? You can put on your bucket list.
I would love to go to the Alamo.
Why?
One, because of the history there. Two, I love Texas. I do love Texas, so it's another reason to visit.
Okay.
So yeah, those are. I think the Alamo would just be amazing, but I think San Antonio alone is a place that I would love to just tour.
Okay. Now, let me back up.
Okay.
All the haunted locations that on this planet, you choose to go to the Alamo.
Well, if I'm going to pick the planet,
Yeah, anywhere on the planet you would want to go. Where would you want to go?
Oh my gosh. On the planet. So the Alamo's doable. Let's see. I'm going to say I would love to tour like the old streets of London. That's really
Old
where
streets of
nothing
London.
like not like one of the. I mean, the castles I think would be amazing, but just the old part of London, the history there. That's what I would like to do.
Okay. Well, that's a good chance we probably will never see you again.
Yeah. So Texas it is.
Okay. Drew, you look bored, man. Come on, you've been thinking long enough. Where would you and your fiance would like to go on your bucket list?
I cannot speak for her, but I've had a location that I've wanted to go to for as long as I can remember, and it's for a number of reasons. But I usually take heat for it because it is a sensitive topic and a sensitive place. But I would really enjoy doing an investigation at Auschwitz.
Yeah, that's one for me too.
Okay, yeah, I understand that. I've had people mention that. Auschwitz would be perfect. Only thing I have to say is bring your tissue with you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because you're going to do some crying. Marissa, what about you, my friend?
I definitely want to go and investigate Croatia. My family's from there, and they have a lot of well-known castles, but I want to go into the farmland and do some investigating there. So that's on my bucket list.
Okay. Okay. And my friend, the name I cannot pronounce.
Dracula's castle.
Wow. Okay. Cool.
And all the surrounding of it, though, not just the castle.
Have you ever? There's a lady in Texas who does ghost and getaways.
Oh wow.
Her name is Annette, and she actually set up tours for people that wants to go to places like that. That's why she called it Ghost and Giveaways.
Wow.
And
so
I
cool.
think, yeah, Ghost, and that's all she does. She does haunted locations in Europe, in the United States, and wherever else you want to go. She can definitely hook that up for you.
Wow.
And yeah, I mean, wow, that, and I think they just went there last year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, my mom went to Romania a few years
Yeah.
ago, and they went by it, but they weren't able to get up at the time. But she took a picture.
Hmm. Wow. So, guys, check out Ghost and Getaways. You will not be disappointed. This young lady is doing, she's booking tours. Man, she is doing a lot. And she's doing this all by herself. There's no tourist, there's no tourist things. She's booking all the airplane flights and everything. She's an amazing young lady. All right. Miss Carrie, where would you like to go, my friend?
Oh, wow. I'm always one that's got the different answer. Yes, I would absolutely love to go to Auschwitz. It comes close with family. Dracula's Castle. All those. I am the one who wants to. I just really want to discover some place that no one's been. I That is my dream location. I don't know what it is. I
Yeah.
don't know where it is or what it is. I just one day want to find that location that's like, that's mine. That's my place. I don't know how to describe it. It's always, everywhere I go, I'm constantly like feeling and looking, but there's something somewhere out there that
Carrie.
someone doesn't know about. That,
Carrie. Carrie.
yes, yes, sir.
Your heart is in Texas. That's the only place. That's the only place you're gonna find that. I'm telling you. If
No,
you're looking for that one, if you're looking for that one location that can give you that wow factor, you have to come to Texas.
I think we need to go to Texas
We need
now,
to do
Carrie.
a Texas trip. Yeah.
Hey, you know what?
Ghost and
Texas is not called. You guys can look this up. Texas is not called the most haunted state in the country for a reason.
Well, it's massive.
Not only is it massive, hell, it takes me 8 hours just to get around the corner.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Texas, Carrie, you have to come to Texas if you want that wow factor. If you want that location that can tell, like, wow, you have to come.
Yeah. I
You
just
have to
want to
come.
find that location that speaks to me,
You have
that
to come.
is out of the way, and it's not known by others.
There hey, we were just talking about that, weren't we?
Well, I guess we'll plan a Texas trip.
You have to come. Hey, it's a reason. It's a reason why Kimberly wants to come to Texas.
Exactly.
I mean, I can't figure out the whole
Visit
Alamo
Texas,
thing.
so,
I can't figure out why she picked the Alamo, but that's
yeah, the Alamo's
funny.
it's not what you think it is.
No, it's not. I mean, that's why. Hey, but you know what? It's her bucket list, so I cannot be judgmental of her bucket list. You know.
Thank you.
Okay, now which one of y'all gonna ask me about mine?
Where's yours then?
What
Who
is
said that?
I did.
Carrie?
You gotta ask me.
What was the question? Where's one location you want to go? That's
On your bucket list.
There you go. You know what? To be honest with you, Carrie, I'm not too far from you.
well,
And Drew,
Travel
I'm
together.
not from far from you. Actually, I got two locations. We're going to start with the one. I would like to go to Normandy Beach.
Oh yeah, that would be
Can you imagine these
a
18, 19-year-old kids getting off that boat and just being ripped apart by 60 millimeter cannons, and the beach itself? Wow, I'm pretty sure there's a lot going on there.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they still haven't cleared that beach fully. I'm not sure. There are certain
No,
places. you
no,
can't get
they still got landmines there.
to. Yeah.
But you know what? If I can just sit on top of the of the hill that they had to climb or to get through, I'm pretty sure you can see all kind of weird stuff down there on that beach.
I'll bet.
All kind of residual stuff that's going on. And my second one, which everybody knows, would be the Island of the Dead in New York City.
Ah.
New York City has Island of the Dead.
Island of the Dead. Have you guys ever wondered where they put all those COVID victims at?
Oh, wow.
They put them on the Island of the Dead.
I've never heard of the
Wow.
Island of the Dead.
Yes, if you ever get a chance, please look it up. The Island of the Dead. It was a place, it was a sanatorium before then. There were already bodies there from all the people that died there previously. So what had happened was, I forgot who was the governor at that time when the COVID had hit, but they could not find a place to put all these bodies of homeless people.
Wow.
So they put them there.
Mhm.
And not just homeless, it's not just the homeless people. They put children, they put infants, they put the elderly, they put everybody there that did not have a home, because it would be uncivilized for you to put people in cemeteries that they wasn't a part of, or they didn't have the money to do it. Because in order for you guys to put somebody in a cemetery, it will cost somebody to dig it up, then all this other stuff. But the Island of the Dead, guess what you can do? Go to Rikers, get a couple inmates, have them come over, dig up the bodies, and put the bodies in the ground and cover them up. It's a win-win for the state because they don't have to pay anybody. And that's what happens. Now, we all know New York City was the epicenter of our country when COVID hit. I mean, I think more people died there than any place else in the States. So that would be my place to go. And besides, I'll sit back and watch the fight, because it would definitely, it would have to be conflict. Do you guys think not? The people that were there before were feeling some type of way about the spirits that they're bringing in. Oh man, there's got to be a boxing match somewhere. It's got to be some kind of conflict or something. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure there is something going on there. And you know what? And the state of New York would not let you visit that island. But this is the question I have. They say the only way you can visit that island is what? You have a relative on that island
Oh.
that's buried there. Okay.
So do you think then that locations, people's bucket list locations, are because of the high emotions that is woven into look, I cannot talk tonight. Location, like when you're going somewhere where tragic things happen, I think everybody starts feeling certain things, and that whereas if you go somewhere where you know nothing about, and you have to develop things.
That's a good question. Of course, if you know something and you go into a location where you know something tragic happened, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that would be, your body would kind of adjust to that. Your body would feel some type of way. But if you go to a location you know nothing about, I think your body's a little bit more relaxed until you hit that first wall. Then you notice, certain things, or about the location. Well, you won't even know because you'll be there you'll be there and you won't even notice anything. But the minute your hair start raising on your arms and you start seeing things, oh yeah, I mean, yeah. That right there, man. It's a totally different thing. I can honestly say, you know. But you know what? I'm gonna try that. I'm definitely gonna try that. That'd be a good little science project for me to do. All right, guys. 209. Any questions for me before we get out of here? I gotta go eat me a Jack in the Box.
Well, I think we'll have to do the reverse. You'll have to join us on one of our podcasts.
Well, you know what?
We mess it up trying to do it. We'll stick it in there.
Me and my team would love to do it.
Oh, great! Yeah,
Awesome.
we'll talk and get you guys on and kind of share their stories and that. And
Yeah.
you know, for me, I want to say thank you because when you contacted me and asked if I do this, and I was like, yes, and then was like, can the others join in? And you said, how many? And I gave you a number. Like, yeah, great, bring them. I so
Bring 'em.
truly appreciate that because Pulse isn't me; it's these guys out here. So I thank you for having all of us on.
Hey, no problem at all. And I
Yes,
thank
thank
you for
you.
accepting the phone call. Because if you didn't accept that phone call from a 512 Texas area code, you probably thought I was a bill collector, didn't
Well,
you?
I did. I was waiting for some medical stuff, and they call with weird numbers, and I'm like, oh, well, all right, this has to
Yeah.
be my upcoming surgery, and then
But you know what? A lot of people do screen my calls. And I'm like, dude, I'm not that guy that wants $2.85 from you.
yeah,
Yeah.
I just listened to your message and called you right back and talked to you, and
Well, you know what? I thank you, Carrie. I
Thank
really
you.
do. I thank you. And I thank your team, Kim, Drew, Marissa, and
Jane.
Janie.
Janie, yeah.
Wow, at the end of the podcast, now I learned your name. Well, you know what? You are my friend. I can't pronounce. How do you pronounce that name anyway?
Deutschlander Ollinger.
Deutschlander. What part of Germany are you from?
Well, I'm not, but Ollinger is actually my last name, but my dad's past did not carry that. That is actually our name, and Deutschlander just means you're a German.
Ah, well,
We are German, but not like I moved here from Germany, German.
oh, okay. Well, I understand that. Well, guys, it has been a pleasure talking to you. And I do apologize for that weird thing. I don't know what happened when the podcast first started. It just got totally weird. Maybe it was Dugway trying to tap into us.
Yeah, I'm not
That's the
sure.
first time I've ever been kicked out of a podcast. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
But-
Speaking of, what do you guys think about all this UFO stuff that's popping up now?
I think it's great they finally told us the truth.
It's about time.
I
Yeah.
am
Just
just
some
sitting
things
here
out
like,
here.
slap, just stick it in my veins, man. Give me more.
Yeah. But after what? How many years?
What was that?
Well, the
When
last time they attempted was Project Blue Book, which I think was late 60s. So
Yeah. But you know what? Do you know who's laughing at everybody right now and say, I told you, knuckleheads, so? Do you know who's. Huh?
Truman.
No, not Truman. What's his name? Bob. Bob is the one that's laughing at everybody and saying, I told you guys 40 years ago.
Oh,
That's
was
what
that?
was going on. Bob Lazar. He's
Yeah.
hey, man, he's sitting back and just saying, I told y'all didn't freaking listen. Now, all this got to come to light. But if you listened to me the first time, you guys would have been a little bit more prepared about this. You know what
Well,
I'm saying?
some people ask, are spirits aliens? That has been thrown out there, so
You know what?
Think about that one sometime.
I think that's a whole nother chapter and a whole nother book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about the paranormal is that you can sit and when you can have a conversation that goes on for hours and you discuss all possibilities, and those are the best conversations and really makes you think, when you start talking
Yeah.
about, you know,
You know, but the
physics
thing
and
is,
everything.
yeah, but you know what? This is what I don't understand. Since the day I was born and I looked up into the stars when I was a kid, and you see those big old, believe me, Texas night sky is the biggest and the brightest that you could ever see. And you look up there and you look, there's no way in hell that we're alone in this universe. There is, come on, dudes.
We
Yeah.
can't even see what's beyond.
Yeah,
Right.
there's no way. You know what? There's a reason why we didn't go back to the moon. For we went back because we were told not to come back. Come on, dude. That's put to it. You know, we it's basic common sense, 1-on-1, when it comes to aliens and the universe. You know what I'm saying? Uh, if you got to be a knucklehead to think we're alone.
It's the same with the paranormal. Is just you have to keep your mind open
Yeah,
to
you know,
possibilities, and
and
there's nothing wrong with thinking. It's when you're closing off that
right, and then
deny
you have,
yourself.
and then you have to think. Let's think about this for a minute before we get out of here. Who are the invaders? Are we the invaders, or are they invaders? I'm pretty sure they were here long before we were.
Mm.
Are they looking at us thinking the same thing that we're looking at them thinking?
I mean, only a time machine. If I had a time machine, I think we'll all go back to day one and figure all this out. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way we can do it.
Then we're looking at different realms and the possibilities. So
Go
there's a lot of possibilities out there.
go find me a Stargate and just get me a dialing device and just go. You know. But anyway, guys, hey, it has been a pleasure talking to you guys. Carrie, tell the world how to get a hold of you.
Well, we're just there. We're on Facebook and YouTube. We're Paranormal Pulse. We also have Paranormal Pulse private page, and we have a podcast called Paranormal Pulse Beats again. So Tuesday nights at 18 or 1900, 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I get in trouble for using military.
I understand.
So, but you can contact us, go to our site. You can contact us anyway, and we're usually right on it. And you can ask anything, and it's just we're a safe site for everybody to express their opinions and all, and we welcome it. So,
All right. Well, hey guys, you guys ever want to get a hold of Miss Carrie and her team? She gave you guys the information to do so. If you're traveling up to Utah and you're looking for a place to investigate, please contact these guys. Now, I know there's a lot of paranormal teams out there, but I think these guys, once you get up there, I think these guys will take care of you. You know what I'm
we'll do
saying?
our best.
So,
Sure will.
hey, they might even show you a good Mexican restaurant to eat at while you're there.
One of the best ones supposedly is right there in Salt Lake City. So,
All right. Well, all right, guys. Well, you know what? You enjoy the rest of your Saturday and enjoy your Sunday. Hey, and let's do this. Hey, and I'm looking for that invite to come on your show. So let's do
you
that.
got it. You'll
Yes.
Drew,
Yes, sir.
you're free. You're able to go do whatever you want to do now. You know what I'm
Lay
saying?
on the floor and stare at the ceiling for a bit.
Damn, dude. You know what? I have not done that in a while. That sounds like a great idea. All right, guys. You guys enjoy the rest of your evening, man. I really appreciate you guys coming on the show.
Thank you.
Hey, this, yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
Thank
All right, guys.
Take
Hey,
care.
Yep, thank you. Hey, this is Terry with NSPS TV Paranormal Podcast. Hey, you guys want to share, like, do whatever you want to do with this show, please feel free to do so. Only thing I'll say is make sure you hit the share, like, subscribe button. Let me get that HBO special. You got no HBO special, right? Hey, let's help a brother out. Let's get these likes up. Let's get these numbers up, man, because I'm only going up. I'm not going down. I'm only going up, man. Big things are coming in the future. So, hey, appreciate it, guys. Let's do it again. Peace.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, here we go again. Get out of there. I think it's my internet. I don't know what's wrong with this. It's so weird. Am I on here still or what? I cannot get. This is so weird that my internet is not acting right. Or maybe it's not my internet. Maybe it's this cuckoo laptop. Let's see here.